What's up, everybody? I'm gonna take you all along with this project I'm gonna be doing today. I am going to be changing the oil in my X5 BMW. I'm headed over here to O'Reilly's. And to be honest, I go to O'Reilly's because my dad used to always go to O'Reilly's. So I just kind of go to O'Reilly's just because he did. No particular reason other than he did it. So I'm gonna go into this O'Reilly's here, and I can't seem to find my torque wrench, and I need to get the highest size socket I have is a 30, and I need to get a 32 millimeter socket. So I'm gonna get a torque wrench and this socket, and then I'll be back out. I'll pick y'all up when I come out. I'm actually, as you see, back from the store. I got the two things that I needed. I've let the vehicle cool down. I'm going to walk you through how to do this. Being honest, I don't really like to do oil changes on foreign vehicles like that, outside of like Nissan and Camaro, not Nissan and Camry, but it's pretty simple. So I'm gonna explain it to you how to do it. And the reason I don't like it, because I think while we pay all this money for these expensive vehicles, a lot of this stuff is plastic or aluminum, and it's very easy to mess up. Where you take a Chevy or a Ford, things are built a little tougher to me. And this is just my opinion. That's the engine cover that came off the engine. If you see that oil stain, that's what made me think, okay, maybe BMW is a little dingy, a little dirty when it comes to filling oil. But anyway, that is the oil cap. That's where I'd be putting new oil into the engine. That right there's an overflow. I pulled it up out of the way and used zip ties. It was attached to that right there. And all of that moving out the way, it just helps you get to the oil filter down in here a little easier. Again, the socket for this oil filter on the X5 BMW is a 32 millimeter socket. And I use mine with a swivel just because of the position of the oil filter. It just helps me access it a lot easier and take it on and off a lot easier. So we are under the vehicle now. As you see, you can see the jack stands, the top of the jack stands there. Always work on your vehicle with the jack stand. Never get up under there with just the jack, because if the jack gives away with the hydraulics, you will be crushed. As you see, I have the oil pan catchment there. And below my oil pan, I have like this aluminum tray that goes under it, so that if for any reason oil happens to get out of the oil pan catchment, it won't stain your cement. But the bolt there is a 17 millimeter. So use a 17 millimeter socket to take your oil bolt from your oil pan. And we are moving right along. As you see, I've put a towel around the oil filter encasement, just because once you pull this oil filter out, it's going to be dripping oil. The last thing you want is for oil to be dripping over your engine, and then it takes a couple of weeks for it to burn off. And you will hate the smell of burnt oil as you're driving. But yeah, so I'm using that 32 millimeter socket that I told you about, and it is out. So now I got the old filter out. It's next to the new filter. Also a crush washer and a new rubber sealer for the filter. Those have to be changed out. Make sure that you torque it, because that is plastic. I repeat, that is plastic. Do not mess up your oil filter encasement, because that is plastic. Don't over tighten it. Ensure that you use a torque wrench. So now I'm just using a 17 millimeter socket and a regular wrench to untighten the bolt and drain all the old oil out of the engine. And so now I am simply just taking off and I'm putting on gloves as you see, but I'm taking off the old filter, put the new filter back on the same way that you took the old filter off. Actually, it won't work any other way other than the way that you're supposed to put it in. Also, I'm going to be taking this time to take off the old rubber sealer and put a new one on. I went to go get some oil to oil up the new rubber sealer. It's just going to make a better seal. So as you see, I'm opening up a quart of the oil, and I'm going to dip that rubber sealer into the oil just to give it some lubrication to ensure that it gives a proper seal. So what I'm doing at this point, I'm actually going under the vehicle, I'm sorry, to get the bolt for the oil pan, because I need to change out the crush washer from the old bolt to the new bolt. So it's real simple. Just take off the old one, put on the new one, and you're good to go. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to take the bolt and I'm going to tighten as much as possible with my own hand. And then I'm going to take my torque wrench and I'm going to tighten it to 18.5 cubic pounds of torque. I'm going to do the same thing with the filter, tighten as much as possible with my hand. And then I'm going to take my torque wrench and also do the same thing, tighten this to 18.5 cubic pounds of torque, just to ensure that I don't over tighten it and crack or break something, because again, this stuff is plastic to me. Now that everything is put back on, I can now put my 6.5 liters of oil back into the engine, and we are done for the most part. I still got to reset the system. So I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna tell you how. I can't show you because I've reset it without picking up the camera, and it would not allow me to go in and reset it again until you like, my X5, it gives you 10,000 miles before it's time to change the oil. And until you like under 80%, it won't even allow you to go in the system and reset it. But you're gonna press your start engine, stop engine button. You're gonna press that 3 times. And then it's going to put the vehicle into diagnostic mode. And then whatever services in your vehicle that may need to be serviced, it's going to pop up. You're going to hold your BC button, which is right here, the BC button right here. I don't know if you can see it, but the BC button right there. You're gonna hold that for 10 seconds. Once you hold that for 10 seconds, it's gonna bring up whatever service the vehicle is saying needs to be done. In this case, it'll be the oil change. That's gonna come up. You're gonna press it for another 10 seconds. It's gonna ask you, do you wanna reset? You're gonna hold it for another 10 seconds. And then after that last 10 seconds, you're gonna see the display is gonna be saying resetting, processing, and your system will be reset. And that is how you do it. I hope this video was helpful for anybody that wants to start doing work on their vehicles yourself. Again, I'm not really a big fan of working on foreign vehicles like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and things like that, but I can. And the reason why, which I said earlier, a lot of these parts, for these vehicles to be $80, $90, $100,000, the parts are made of plastic or aluminum, and as opposed to you take and granted, I'm talking about older school Chevys, older school Fords now, the 2022s, 23s, 24s may be plastic. I don't have one. But thinking back to the ones that I did work on, they seemed a little more sturdy than these vehicles these days. But, it's not hard to do. I did it, knocked it out in maybe 35, 40 minutes. So I say if you want to try it, do it. If you don't feel comfortable, take it to a shop so that you're not messing up your vehicle. And I'm out.